Hey, how's it going, everybody? We are back here at Daytona International Speedway in Daytona Beach, Florida, to once again begin a new season here for the Speed Racing Series. But we're going to do it differently this time because thanks to Middle Road Energy coming on board, we're going to have the first ever Middle Road Energy Shootout exhibition race to start this new season. No points on the line tonight, just a simple 100-mile dash between all previous pole winners and race winners from seasons 1 and 2. They're going to get at it for a pack of some delicious drinks and some extra prize money. Starting lineup was determined via random draw, and Zachary Fitzwater and Nick Breeding were lucky enough to draw the front row positions. This race may be short and sweet, but it'll definitely be packed with action. So don't blink, because you might miss something special. Anyway, let's get you down to the green flag. Well, after all the pre-race festivities, the big driver introduction ceremony, and these drivers hopping into their race cars, there's only one last thing left to do, and it's to wave that green flag and turn these 19 cars loose here on the high banks of Daytona. And from your pole sitter of Zachary Fitzwater to second place Nick Breeding, all the way back to RJ Bishop, they've got as equal of a shot to win as everyone else does. We'll just have to wait and see at the end of 100 miles. And honestly, I can't really think of a better way to start this new season of ours, as well as the new partnership with Middle Road Energy, than to get this event started, the very first one of its kind. There goes the pace car onto pit road. The fans here at Daytona get to their feet. Fitzwater and Breeding speed up through the gears. Green flag is in the air, and off we go for the very first Middle Road Energy Shootout. At the end of lap 1, Martin is able to steal the lead away from Fitzwater. He gets to claim lap number 1, but here comes Yoshiko Sakamoto as well as her new teammate James Ellison. From 7th and 9th on the grid, all the way up to 1st and 2nd in a lap and a half. So a great charge by that duo. Ellison down to the inside in his Tide ride. Here's your reigning Rookie of the Year, Vince Freeze, up to 3rd. Major Robinson in the newly number 85 ride. And your winner of the 250 last season, Zachary DeLello, he's making it 3 wide on the low side of 3 and 4. Fitzwater all the way down to 7th, maybe 8th, as Noah Hart passes him. And your leader at lap 2 will be James Ellison. A real good charge by him on the start of this race. And Vince Freeze leading the Rambler Brigade in their new Dodge Chargers for this season. They switched over from Ford to Dodge. That was one of the major headlines coming into this season here. So far, Freeze making it work. Fitzwater 3rd on the outside there in 6th. RJ Bishop is also there. And also that 50 car Scott Roush. He'll look to join his other teammates at Rambler as well. The 21 and the 61 side by side. Coming out of turn 4, this pack is well up to speed by now. Major Robinson, who was helping Freeze, he's going to try and make it 3 wide. Freeze gets the lead lap 3, crossing the line at 189, and it's bound to get higher from here. But check that out, 3 wide, a Ford on the inside, a Dodge in the middle, and a Chevy on the outside, and you got the Toyota of Zachary DeLello behind him. This is magnificent stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at this from the helicopter view, these guys starting to get a little edgy with their racing. Robinson can't quite throw the block on DeLello, but he does on Freeze. Fitzwater behind DeLello already. He's back up to near the front of the field. And also RJ Bishop, who started dead last. He's already charging on the inside. Look at that. 3 wide, 3 deep through this field. I know these drivers were pretty hungry to get on the track. They've been waiting a long time to get this season started, but I didn't know they'd be this hungry. As Bishop is going to push his teammate of Fitzwater to the lead. Here's Joseph Strigley coming back to that number 11 car, in which he won at Michigan with last season. And down on the inside for the lead, Bishop in that Reese's machine. Down on the inside of Fitzwater, Scott Roush is going to be able to give him some help as well. And here comes Dylan Young shooting up into 5th in his brand new ride at Sanders Performance Auto Racing, that 87 car. At the end of lap 5, it's a Rambler 1-2-3 effort with Bishop in front. How about the 87 of Dylan Young continuing to make some noise as he goes up into 3rd ahead of Strigley. And people, I tell you what, for a guy like Dylan Young, for him to get this chance with the Spot team, I think this is the golden ticket that he needs for success at last in the Speed Racing Series, because for the most part, his career has been kind of lackluster. Season 1, he drove for his family-owned organization with not that much success. He drove for Monster Motorsports last season. He got the pole at Darlington, which is what made him eligible to even race in this event. But didn't really have that much to show for it either, as Roush takes the lead up ahead. But what kind of a story would it be if Young were to end up in victory lane by the time this night is over? He definitely has a strong car for sure, and he's the highest running of the Spot cars at the moment, as most of them, they've kind of faded their way down to the back of the field. Here's Lane Sanders in the 86, 3 wide with his other teammates of Nick Breeding and Major Robinson. And Christian Vargas, who does drive the 81 for this team, he wasn't able to be a part of this event, so he's got to sit this one out while his other 4 teammates duke it out here this evening. Strigley up to 2nd. Bishop gets kicked up high to the very outside. And DeLello still showing off his super speedway skills. Once again, your defending Daytona 250 champion. He gets pushed up high by the Rambler duo of Fitzwater and Freeze. And behind Freeze, there's your defending champion of Charles Sanford. We finally get to mention him for once this race. And coincidentally enough, it's the top 3 in the championship a season ago that are on the bottom of the racetrack. Freeze, Sanford, and Luke Martin. Sanford's going to make the charge for 2nd. And all of this battling and engaging in all this scrambling around for position is just letting that 50 car pull away. Luke Martin has an opportunity to get by Sanford for 2nd. Even with Sanford getting help from James Ellison, Martin using that forward power to sail on by, and Ellison's actually going to ditch Sanford and follow Martin through. Dylan Young in the 4 behind him too, but he won't have a chance because Freeze is going to go down to the bottom of him. And Luke Martin, your Season 1 champion. He won it the first time over Sanford by the slim margin of 4 points, but then he lost last season's championship to him by 80. So who knows, maybe this coming season, if these two continue being their usual selves, running up front all the time, collecting checkered flags, we might get a 3rd straight championship out of between these two. Or maybe they can totally crap the bed and allow another contender to get through. And down to the inside of Roush goes James Ellison, trying to dethrone the Alabama native from the lead here in this event. Looks like he's going to have enough strength. And I thought the 21 was going to get into the 61 right there. And talking about a guy with another golden opportunity here to drive a strong car, Ellison in this JSR Chevy. He used one of their chassis last season at Nashville where he won the pole and finished 2nd. And Strigley caught attention to that and saw how well Ellison could run their equipment. So Ellison has a full-time ride with the team and is trying to work his magic in this new ride of his. But as quickly as he gains the lead, Freeze and Martin get it right back. Let's get a little TV time to some guys that we haven't talked about yet in this race. Here's the 03 machine of Jacob Puholtz, who crossed the line of 14th that time by. Puholtz being able to be in this race by virtue of his win at Rockingham Speedway last season and just his 5th ever start, which was very impressive enough as he peeks to the inside of Young and Fitzwater to gain more positions. Your outside pole sitter, Nick Breeding, he's drifted back to 15th, but is still hanging in the pack okay. You can still see his teammates up in the distance. And another driver who switched rides during the offseason, here's Harrison Riley in the 24 car for S3 Motorsports. He's running pretty decently himself in 16th, keeping his teammate of Beholtz up in front of him. But 17th, 18th, and 19th are the drivers that I'm most concerned about. Here's Ryan Griffin in the 25, who's back in a Speed Racing Series car for the first time since Michigan last season for Nova Sport. But he's in danger of losing the draft with the lead pack, as he's more than 10 car lengths behind Harrison Riley at this point. Same thing with his teammate and boss of Aiden Smith in the 89, and also the 18 of Noah Hart, one of the Martin Motorsports cars. This is very surprising, especially seeing Noah Hart back here. Looks like the 18, the 89, and the 25, they're just not as aerodynamically hooked up as the other 16 cars are, it seems. And it looks like for those 3 guys, they'll really have to rely on something big happening in the pack in order for them to catch up again, maybe a yellow perhaps. Anyway, back up here, a lead change has occurred. Scott Roush and James Ellison back to being 1-2 on the track. As you see, Ellison is the meat in a Rambler Racing sandwich. But there goes the 38 of Bishop down the low side of Ellison through the tri-oval. And he'll look to partner up with Roush again. And with the momentum he's got on the inside, Bishop should easily be able to do it. Now RJ Bishop has the chance to retake the lead for himself as he's going to whiz on by Roush. And he's also got Zachary Fitzwater in company too. Rambler 1, 2, 3. That last time around. And Freeze is also there. He's just got to get rid of Luke Martin first. Freeze still winless in his Speed Racing Series career. He's been close a couple of times. He did get a runner-up at Watkins Glen and Michigan a season ago. He definitely has the speed to do it. Just got to get the luck on his side, and then a victory will be possible. Bishop leads the second straight lap. Let's check on the 3 stragglers at the back as Roush pulls to the inside. Yeah, Hart, Smith, and Griffin, they're pretty much all by themselves now. And that's an utter shame for them. They'll really have to hope on a yellow in order to catch up. And Harrison Riley's also in jeopardy of falling out with the pack. He's going to try and desperately hang on to the draft of Jacob Puholtz. But Martin's going to plan on spoiling the party for the Rambler squad. He's the only Ford surrounded by all the Dodges around him. As Freeze now, he's going to put him up through the middle as we're halfway home in the Middle Road Energy Shootout. Roush is the leader. And the Alabama driver is currently showing why he's got one of the fastest cars here tonight. He and the whole Rambler Racing organization came to play. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He's led the most laps out of everybody so far. And don't forget, at Talladega Superspeedway last season, Rambler swept the top 4 qualifying positions, and then RJ Bishop went on to be the victor of that race. So their super speedway game definitely up to where they want it to be. As Bishop is now kicked up to the outside with Martin and Sanford beneath them. And contact behind him. Zachary DeLello goes around. Fitzwater up and over through the tri-oval. Caution is out right away, and Zachary Fitzwater goes for a tumble through the tri-oval here at Daytona. A whole bunch of smoke pouring out of that Jack Daniels Dodge. I mean, kudos to him for trying to drive away. But boy, oh boy, that definitely scared me, folks. Pace cars pulling out. There's Roush and Freeze. I think everybody else took the caution. And Freeze isn't going to do anything. Roush will be our leader. Back to the yellow. Our first one of Season 3. And it sure was a big one. Wow, just 22 laps into the season and we already have a flip. There's the 7 of Fitzwater running up high. Oh, it was the 85 of Major Robinson that started it all. He got into Fitzwater, and just look at how quickly that car turned over. So it was contact between Fitzwater and Robinson that started off that incident, and Zachary DeLello was the other innocent party to get caught up in it. From another angle, the picture should clearly tell us how it all happened. You see Fitzwater's as high as he can be on the racetrack, but the 85 of Robinson just simply comes up the track right into him. They both get together, they go down and clip the 15 of DeLello, who was just minding his own business. And wham, a hard hit. The 7 gets squeezed into the wall by the 15. And upside down goes your pole sitter. Fitzwater doing 2 rolls through the tri-oval here at Daytona. And all these fans in the front stretch grandstands, they definitely got an eyeful of that crash. Even though DeLello did get damaged, I think he should still be able to keep continuing and keep making laps. And Fitzwater, he started the night on pole, and he's going to end it in the garage. This is what the incident looked like on board the Aaron's Dream Machine of Zachary DeLello. Hang on, folks, because you're about to go on a wild ride. This is what it looked like from Zachary Fitzwater's perspective. With the yellow flag being displayed, this means the rest of the field will have the chance to make some pit stops. They're only scheduled one of the night. You see Charles Sanford and Yoshiko Sakamoto's crews, they're putting 2 tires and fuel into their cars. I think that's the call that most of these crews are making. And off the pit road, Roush and Freeze will remain 1-2. With Sanford, Strigley, and Martin 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And every one of these drivers should be in great shape as far as tires and fuel go. About to get back underway here in the Middle Road Energy Shootout after that lap 22 incident between the 2 Zacharys in the field. And Fitzwater undoubtedly has parked his car for the race. DeLello is in the back in 18th. We'll see how long he can hang on with the damage that he's got. Pace cars down on the pit road. Roush and Freeze still hold the top 2 spots for Rambler Racing. Coming to the line, and we are back to green on lap 27. Them speed shot angles look really good, eh? Roush about to be the victim of a 3-wide pass. Joseph Strigley making a daring move down low in that 11 car. And Sanford actually goes with the 21. That's surprising. Okay, Sanford goes back down to the bottom. I thought Sanford was going to just plain old ditch his teammate. But that's not to be the case. Sanford actually serving as a pick for the 21 so that Strigley can keep the lead. But Sanford's going to get a run on him as they go into turn 3. And this lead pack is just about fully back up to speed again. Running fast and strong like they've always been. And here's a 3-wide move by the 66 of Sakamoto. And hey, check that out. I'm sure JSR's PR people had to have loved to seen that. 3 out of their 4 cars side by side for the lead at the line. And now the 4th car of James Ellison, the 61, he's in the picture. Those 4 Joseph Strigley Racing Chevys showing that they can put up a fight against the Rambler Dodges and the Martin Motorsports Fords. They're just as tough of a team to contend with as they are in this field. 2 Rambler cars on the bottom, 2 JSR cars up high. The 50 and the 38 are going to prevail that time. It is Sakamoto's lead again in that 66 Chevy. She had a successful season last season, finally getting her first serious win in the second round at Phoenix. Having more good finishes following that, and ultimately finishing 6th in points. So will the third time be the charm for Sakamoto? Maybe contend for a championship along with Sanford and maybe your other teammates. As she holds off the 50 car of Roush, Dylan Young, his quiet but excellent night continues, running in the top 5, and he's also got his teammate Elaine Sanders in the 86, the inaugural Daytona winner in the series. He may help him if he gets the chance, but no, the 54 of Martin, he's got enough of a run to get past Sanders on the outside. As we have now reached 10 laps to go, as Roush is going to duck down to the inside of the 66 for the lead. And oh, there goes the 16 of Sanford down low, saying, pal, I want to be the one who controls this field. And look at this, both of the Rambler teammates and both of the JSR teammates, they flip-flopped. Bishop is helping Sanford while Sakamoto is helping Roush, or was helping Roush, as Dylan Young forces her up the track. Young gonna tag along behind Martin. And Sanford, he leads this lap, but he's in the meat of a Rambler sandwich again. At this point in the race, all of the cream is starting to rise to the top. And the contenders who feel like they're worthy of rising to the top, they're here. And they are certainly showing why. And look on the inside. Here comes the Spa duo, the 87 of Young and the 86 of Sanders. For Lane Sanders out of Huntsville, Alabama, it's coming up on 2 full seasons since his thrilling victory in the very first SRS event. You know, he's hungry and eager to get back to victory lane and experience that thrill again. He's going to shoot up into 3rd, and he'll do his best to chase down the 38 and the 54. And here comes Luke Martin to the inside of Bishop. The whole field flip-flopping positions all over the place. But now Martin back to the point. Bishop's going to tuck in 2nd with everyone else closing in on those 2. Going back here to Ryan Griffin and Major Robinson. Even though the 25 of Griffin and the 89 of Aiden Smith, they got the yellow they wanted, they haven't been able to capitalize. Just their Nova Sport Fords just lacking aerodynamic ability for this event. And Major Robinson, he got a piece of that incident with DeLello and Fitzwater. There's Aiden Smith, and way back here is Zachary DeLello. Hopefully the leaders don't catch him by the end of this thing, as they're coming out of turn 4. He's going into turn 1. I don't know how much longer DeLello can last. As the 21 and the 54 continue to duke it out for the lead. Look who's made his way up into the top 5. Noah Hart in the 18. We saw him fall way out of the draft earlier in the race. And now he's running up here with the top dogs. I mean, what a resurgence he's made. Oh, what's the 24 Riley doing? He's on the apron, back up the track. That was awfully close. Harrison Riley. I don't know what caused him to get out of shape. Thankfully, that didn't result in a crash. But look at that. It's caused the lead pack to split up. Roush is going to waste no time. He's going to make a pass on that 24. But man, that was really bizarre. We'll need to see how Riley lost control like that. Here you see the 24 of Riley exiting the tri-oval, following Yoshiko Sakamoto. He makes an attempt to pass her. Oh, but he just simply drives down on the apron. That was really weird to see. I think he maybe thought that the 66 was going to pinch him down below the apron, and he felt like he had to go down below the line in order to avoid turning her around. Thankfully, disaster was avoided, but this is going to be very hard for him to bounce back from. Back to live action, we are down to the final 5 laps of the Middle Road Energy Shootout, and the 21 of Freeze is going to lose the lead here to Luke Martin. James Ellison, the 61, pushing Martin along. Ellison trying to go down low, even though he has no help. And look at this, the 50 of Roush reeling in the top runners. Look at the power that car has. 204 miles an hour going into turn 3. I told you people that car is bad fast tonight. Luke Martin does have the fastest lap of the night. And there goes the 15 of DeLello down on the pit road. Looks like the Speed Racing Series officials has deemed him to be running too slow, so he won't be in the way of the leaders. 4 laps to go as they go through 1 and 2. Now Martin has Yoshiko Sakamoto to deal with. Same goes for Bishop, Roush, and Strigley. Sakamoto's going to try and get to the inside of the 54, and she's going to do so. No contest. Sakamoto will take the lead at the stripe more than likely. But that 38 and the 50, those two have been a great combo team here tonight. They've worked extremely well together. That as these laps get down, as we get closer to the end, it's pretty much every man for himself. We can be teammates all night long, but when it's the last lap, it's every man and woman for themselves. Roush to second, Strigley now to third. Allison to 61, he's falling way back on the outside. Oh, the 86 of Lane Sanders and Nick Breeding, they're losing touch. Back to Griffin, Robinson, and Smith, who are the last cars running in the race. Single file are the front 7 cars in this field. RJ Bishop trying to make a move on Strigley in an effort to get to the back of his teammate, Scott Roush. He's going to try and give him whatever amount of help that he can give. This is the point of the race where you got to position yourself just right. I'd say everybody up to Vince Freeze has a shot. I don't think Beholt or Sanford can do anything from where they're at now. Noah Hart going to try and tag along behind the 38. And there's the 66 and the 50 pulling away from them all. That 50 car glued tight onto the rear bumper of the 66. Sakamoto shows the way, but she'll have one more lap to deal with Roush. White flag is waving here at Daytona. Which one of these drivers will come back around as the winner? And there he goes. Roush is taking the chance. Down to the inside of Sakamoto going into turn 1. Can RJ Bishop lend Roush any assistance maybe? Out of turn 2, Roush goes by. But did he time his move too soon? That is the question. Sakamoto doing her best to close in, but she can't do anything there. 2 more corners is all that's left in this race. What can Sakamoto do? She'll have one more shot to get the win. Into the trial they come. She tries to go to the inside, but it won't happen. And it'll be Scott Roush who will pick up the win in the inaugural Middle Road Energy Shootout at Daytona. And all of Alabama is proud with that finish, people. Scott Roush holds off Sakamoto and the rest of the hungry drivers to pick up the win here in this very first exhibition race for the Speed Racing Series. He'll be the one receiving a pack of great tasting drinks, a whole bunch of prize money, and a hell of a lot of confidence heading into the big show, the Daytona 250. And I'm sure in that race, he'll do his best to prove that this win right here is no fluke. I go out on a limb and say Roush led the most laps tonight. I'll have to go and double check the stats when I get to it. Roush had a strong car all evening long. And not going to take away any credit from Sakamoto, Martin, or any of the other teams that brought strong cars here tonight. But Roush and his number 50 squad, they were able to find just that little bit of extra magic that they needed in order to make sure Roush's car handled the best and drove the best at these high speeds. And it paid off for them well. And in Rambler Racing's first ever event as a Dodge team, they'll get to go to victory lane. And who's to say that Roush and this team won't go for the Daytona sweep, winning both the MRE Shootout and the Daytona 250 in the same weekend? That could certainly be a possibility. Here's a quick rundown of the top 10. Scott Roush, your winner, with an average speed of 170.3 miles an hour. Yoshiko Sakamoto, an oh-so-close second place, but she drove fantastically well tonight for herself. Third on the podium is R.J. Bishop. Fourth is Joseph Strigley. Fifth is Vince Freeze. Sixth, your reigning champion Charles Sanford. Seventh, the Season 1 champ Luke Martin. Eighth goes to Noah Hart after falling out of the draft in the first half of the race. Harrison Riley, with a close call of his own, comes home in ninth. And picking up the first ever top 10 in any speed racing series event of any kind, Dylan Young finishes 10th. A well-deserved pat on the back for him and his crew. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The first Daytona Speed Weeks event is in the books. We really hope you enjoyed the race. There was definitely plenty of intense and exciting moments that happened all throughout it, including that hard tumble on the front straightaway by Zachary Fitzwater. Thankfully, he's all right, and he, along with the rest of the drivers that competed tonight, will now look forward to pole qualifying for the Daytona 250, which will happen next. All 49 entries will get to participate in a single-car qualifying run, and we will lock in the front row for the series' biggest race, the Daytona 250. So stay tuned for everything that's going to come your way for the rest of the Speed Weeks. Once again, we appreciate you viewers tuning in and watching this race. Here come your full race results. And for the last time, congratulations from all of us to the inaugural Middle Road Energy Shootout winner, Scott Roush.